Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another unboxing video, and it's Jethro Tull coming fast on the heels of Bursting Out, which took months and months to arrive. This one has taken days in comparison, and it is living in the past. This is my vinyl reprint, which came with the original booklet. Do you remember that? It was so hard to find. It still is quite hard to find an original on vinyl. So, and that's one I've always been happy with. And then I found out that still living in the past was going to be the Super Deluxe edition to join the rest of the set and series, which I'm happy to say I have every single one of them. So let's have a look inside the set and then I'll tell you what I think of it. So this is Still Living in the Past, the next in the series of Jethro Tull Super Deluxe Edition box sets. Who knew they were going to keep going for this long, but I'm so pleased that they have. This is the 1972 double album remix and expanded to include related recordings, associated original mixes, and the 4 November 1970 Carnegie Hall concert, remixed in stereo of 5.1 by Steven Wilson. So all the track listings are on the back, and as you'd expect, this is a proper hardback book with as anything to do with Ian Anderson. There is no stone left unturned. So on the inside front cover, we've got the first two discs, a little postcard here, because I bought this from Burning Shed to give the most support I possibly can. Disc 3 is in the next page along, and then we've got an original press ad on the inside saying it was originally £3.49 because it came with a wonderful booklet, as you've seen me hold up in my repressing of the vinyl version. And then we're into it. This edition, all the credits, etc. Absolutely superb stuff. Now the main probably difference is that obviously disc 1 are lots of really up-to-date remixes that Steven Wilson has been involved with, and what we have here on disc 2, there are some that have doubled up from other box sets. So for instance, the stand-up elevated edition box set, some of these are from. So the way Dylan's put together, there are some duplication, but again, for most Jethro Tull fans, we don't really care, do we? I mean, look how we bought the Benefit one again, even though there had already been a deluxe set. We just want, these sets because they're so well done. So I think this is marvelous stuff. And then we've got The Living in the Past Part 2, which was originally sides 3 and 4. So this is obviously the concert. It's not been available before. Carnegie Hall on CD4, CD5, Carnegie Hall as well, sorry. What I should have been saying here is, of course, is that on disc 3, you've got versions here that were from, again, a bit like the other disc, released on the Aqualung adapted edition, etc. So some things you'll have seen before, but heard before even, but I don't think it matters. And then we have, as we expect with these sets, an absolutely amazing I say documentary, but it also is a visual documentary, isn't it? Of all the kind of wordage you'd expect from Ian, and how this came together, because it was a way of trying to help America catch up with what had been going on. So there wasn't all this duplication, but it became an album in itself, and it is a superb album in itself. But all the pictures that were in the original booklet are all reproduced. All the text, Ian's mastery of telling stories is there for all to see, and it's an important part of the Jethro Tull story and everything you'd like from this. Look, I mean, I've said I don't think there's a Jethro Tull deluxe set where I haven't said that this is the definitive way of displaying a classic album from that period. And the fact that Jethro Tull did this, and yes, Genesis, even Zeppelin, Purple, whoever else, didn't think about. I mean, it amazes me that record labels are still playing around with what they think a box set should look like and in design. People have bookcases and they live with other people in the house, and this design works. And it works even if there are two discs, because there are some sets, I'm thinking of, is it Thicker the Brick, or is it, could be, or I think it's Thicker, but there's only two discs. So it works with two discs. I mean, anyone thinking you have to have at least 6 or 8 discs, you don't. Or the lyrics are in here as well. And then we've got lots of picture sleeves from singles and stuff, where all the songs are from. It's just marvellous. Even sheet music for Living in the Past and all the other discs are at the back. So I think this design, this series, is the benchmark to how to have your back catalogue live forever. It's just so beautifully done. Some of these have been released not over and over again, but they've gone out of print. The price is still exceptional, but look at this running time, 355 minutes. And then we've got Blu-ray on this one as well, which we didn't have on some of the earlier ones, but just brilliant. And now I'll give you a rundown on my thoughts on the sound. So that's a look at Still Living in the Past. It's fantastic, isn't it? Now, this is a little bit different in respect to the content, in that it's probably the first one in the series where if you bought everyone in the series, there will be a little bit of duplication, especially on discs 2 and 3. So what I'm saying is, because there's an overlap for when this album first appeared and some of the tracks that were why this album was designed and why it originally came out, there will be some material that you will be aware of. So there will be some tracks that are off the stand-up deluxe set that you'll have heard before. Off This Was, there will be a few tracks. And some of these I pointed out on Benefit, you will also be aware of them. And of course, the Aqualung set. But elsewhere, Carnegie Hall has not appeared on any of these deluxe sets. It's only if you go back to here, which was again, Benefit also came out in this kind of shape design, where Carnegie Hall has already appeared on a DVD and on the CD as well. However, even if you bought this set trumps it. And why does it? It trumps it because basically we are looking at 18 tracks on here, whereas on here there are 10. So you get an extra 8 songs from Carnegie Hall on this set. You also get a drum solo, all right, for those of you who are concerned about such things. But it's of its time. This is a time when musicians looked at each other and thought, I think it's my turn. And you could just go off and spend the next 15 minutes exploring your instrument. And no one thought anything of that. And in modern ears, perhaps you might, but it doesn't matter, because you're listening to a piece of rock history, prog history, social history, and how music was presented. And this deluxe set is presented in just the same level of excellence as every other one in this series. And it really sits there completely fantastically well. What is the sound like? Stephen Wilson understands Jethro Tull, and the sound is absolutely fantastic. Some of on disc 1, you've got the 2025 remixes. It sounds incredible. The visual stuff is great to have. For Jethro Tull fans, this series is exceptional. And I say this every time in these videos, but if bands like Yes or Genesis or Zeppelin or anyone had followed this pattern, this level of detail, this is what fans want. This is how to present a classic album. I say that every time, but it isn't. Every time another one comes out, and the price point, it's just brilliant. It just is. So thank you for watching. That is Still Living in the Past, which am I? I like to go there, but I also like living in the present as well, and whatever's coming around the corner. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Please keep spinning those discs. Become a patron, become a YouTube member, and you'll get discounts off merch. And you can also join our online communities, which are private for patrons and YouTube members only. And they're on Facebook and WhatsApp. And we have our own virtual pub called the Now Spinning Arms, which meets twice a month. Take care, keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.